Hello everyone, tonight we're going to be doing some Secrets of Strixhaven draft, as per usual when a new set is out, with some exceptions. You know, I didn't do anything like this for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I've got my draft token that's actually from Lorwyn Eclipsed. Witherbloom the Balancer. Affinity for creatures. There's flying and death touch. Instant sorcery spells you cast have affinity for creatures. Got Mystical Archive Hop to it. Fractal Anomaly. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Witherbloom. Just on the off chance that those lanes are open. Because, like, Witherbloom already made, as a draft archetype, Witherbloom already makes tokens a lot of the time. Something that lets you have, not only has affinity for creatures, thus making it cheaper to cast. Like, if you have 6 creatures, you can summon Witherbloom for 2 mana. Arwen, Deathbloom Botanist. Whenever a creature you control with power toughness 1 or less dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 1 life. And you gain 2 life. I mean, that also seems good. Like, it could just be that nobody's really settled into a lane yet because it's only pick 2, but I think Witherbloom has some potential. They're not usually my preferred school. Well, I usually go more for Lorehold. But it's important to keep your options open in draft. Environmental Scientist. Search your library for basic land, reveal it, put it into your hands, and shuffle. Yeah, having some cheap creatures that they also have like solid abilities is gonna be good to pair with Witherbloom. Because especially since a creature that also generates mana, when dealing with affinity for creatures, that's effectively 2 mana. Divergent Equation. Return up to X target instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. This actually wouldn't be super good with affinity because it gets less. I could really use something that makes tokens. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Witherbloom for now and grab the Mindful Biomancer, which that is a life gain card, and that's Witherbloom's core mechanic. I've got Old Growth Educator, Vigilance, Reach. When this creature enters, you put 2+1/+1 counters on it if you gained life this turn. So it passes the vanilla test and passes it even more if you gained life the turn you cast it. And now we've also got Root Manipulation. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Menace. And whenever this creature attacks, you gain 1 life. There's also Efflorescence. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. If you gain life this turn, the creature also gains trample and indestructible until end of turn. Oh, and here's another copy of Root Manipulation. Send in the Pest. Each opponent discards a card. You create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. Oh, and they changed the pest mechanic. It used to be that you gained life when pests died, but now it's when they attack. Berserk casts this spell only before the combat damage step. Target creature gains trample and... I think I'm just gonna go for the newt. Yeah, sure, another newt. Something to make a token, and it's an X spell. Which means that's going to do really well. Well, with the Witherbloom, granting all of my instants and sorceries. Yeah, sure, I'll take a Withering Curse. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn, or if I gained life this turn, just destroy them all. Last Gasp could be good, as could Bogwater Lumerette. Or Necroscribe Ward, discard a card. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell that targets a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I mean, that could be very good, since there will probably be at least one occasion where Witherbloom will die. Vicious Rivalry. As an additional cost to cast the spell, pay X life. Destroy all artifacts and creatures with mana value X or less. I mean, it seems like it could be pretty good, but I'm gonna go with Pest Mascot. Because, I mean, it's more creatures. It plays with Witherbloom's central theme. Glorious Decay. Could go... Yeah, sure, ramp on a low-cost creature. That seems good. More trample and indestructible. Well, just so long as I've gained life. Which, I mean, you know, again, I don't usually go for Witherbloom, but I mean, when you open Witherbloom Pack 1, it seems worth a try. When this enchantment enters, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token with 3+1/+1 counters on it. Yeah, sure, I'll take Take one of those. If you first gain life... Yeah, that seems good. Being able to just drain my opponent for 1 black mana every time I gain... every turn, so long as I gain life. Because it's not every time, since it only becomes prepared the first time, but... Having access to Raise Dead also seems good. Sure, I'll take a Mage Tower Referee. And a Hungry Graphalon. Another way to say get Witherbloom back from the graveyard. Moment of Reckoning. Choose up to 4. Or you may choose the same mode more than once. Destroy target non-land permanent. Destroy target non-land permanent. Or return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Unfortunately, I'm not fully in those colors. You know, I'll take Lumerit. That's favor. Emil, Vastland, and Roamer. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have trample, and you can create tokens. Tokens with an activated ability, and it's all green, so I'm just gonna take Emil, even though like I'm kind of in a mix of Witherbloom and Quandrix. Hey, I've got 2 Arnins now. So I've got plenty of... So if I could just get more ways of making pests... Because right now I've only got the 1. Stargaze, look at twice X cards from the top of your library, put X cards from among them into your hand and the rest on into your graveyard. I mean, not really the kind of X spell that I'd be looking for right now. Yeah, sure, another way of draining my opponent. And I do have some spells that target creatures, so... And another small creature with Death Touch. That's to work with Arnen. Yeah, I can fit another pest mascot in. Guess I'll just take the one card that's in the colors I've been drafting this entire time. Cast another instant or sorcery useful this turn, then it deals damage equal to its power to up to one target creature an opponent controls. Take another pest mascot. Grab the royal treatment. Sure, another barrage. Another mage tower referee. Biblioplex Tomekeeper, Venturous Eater, and that's the actual draft. Now onto now I've just got to figure out which 14 cards to cut. I think probably the referee and the Tomekeeper. Maybe cut additive evolution. Probably don't need every one of these ways of bringing Witherbloom back. have 3 Noxious Newts, so I can... And a Studious First Year, which has rampant growth. So I can probably actually cut a land, at the very least. Follow the Lumerets. In Fusion, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. If you gained life this turn, you may instead reveal 2 creature and or land cards from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Okay, so it's a card that just gets you more cards. I don't know how good that is in Limited, so I'm actually going to cut it, at least for now. I've got 21 creatures and 9 instants and sorceries. I mean, Barak Barrage seems like it's gonna be really good because it lets a creature I control deal damage directly to another creature. And seeing as how I've got 4 different creatures that have Death Touch, maybe I actually send in the Pest, because all it does is make a token and cause my opponent to discard 1 card of their choice. I mean, Ventress Eater seems like it's gonna be pretty good with that +1/+1 and gain 1 life ability. Maybe I actually cut the Graphalon. I'm sure it does. It is a 3/4 with reach, but I don't know how often I will be paying more than 3 mana for a spell. I guess for my creatures that are more than that, I certainly will be. And anytime I don't have Witherbloom, I'm out. Then that will also apply to instants and sorceries, but then I only have one instant or sorcery that I can spend more than 3 mana on anyway. I mostly just need to cut like 2 more cards. Zero green and blue fractal creature token. With X +1/+1 counters, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. So 2. So maybe actually cut email. Yeah, I'll cut 1 copy of Efflorescence. Now we just need to see how well this deck actually functions. Alright, got an opportunity to curve out a little bit. I'll have to wait and see when I mean, I'll have rampant growth turn 2, so long as the first year survives. Search out a swamp. Swing 1. Like the noxious newt. Hood and pass. Swamp. Could play the tenured concoctor. I'll get Adventurous Eater out. And I can throw a Leech Collector as well. That hardened academic is going to be a big problem, I can tell. Just, you know, flying and has a means of growing bigger. And I lost my Death Toucher. Sadly, I don't have the mana to both have a bite and summon the Old Growth Educator right now, so I could really use an Old Growth Educator either for the reach. I'm just gonna play the Educator and pass. Hopefully, at the very least, the Educator will be a decent blocker until they get a combat trick. And they can play, no, this turn they can play Pest Mascot, and then have a bite. Give a +1/+1 counter to the Educator. And because I gained life, Pest Mascot gets a +1/+1 counter, and Leech Collector becomes prepared. So next turn, I can drain them for 2. Well, it's just 2 direct it's just 2 direct life loss. Because I think usually drain means you are also gaining life. It looks like I've somewhat stabilized. I can Bloodletting. Sin lets me Barrage Barrage. +1/+0 and deal 6 damage from the Old Growth Educator directly to their flyer. Then I'll play Mindful Biomancer. I gain life, so Pest Mascot gets a counter, Mindful Biomancer becomes prepared. And the Academic's back. And there goes my blocker with reach. Fantastic. On the plus side, I would say I'm in a stronger position than I was when they got the Academic out the first time. Alright, so just give the Biomancer +2/+2. And I will pass so that I can keep up Efflorescence. Granted, currently that's only +2/+2. No Trample and Indestructible because I don't have much in the way of life gain at all. Alright, time for another Pest Ape. Swing with the 4/5 Pest Ape. This is potentially a problem. Well, they have to get a card out of their graveyard in order to start using Pack-Up Punch. Alright, swing with these two. Activate the Biomancer. They'll use Bloodletting. If this is at the very least going to be pretty close. Here, we'll Efflorescence now, so they can Barrage Barrage. Take out the Academic again. Swing with these two. They're down to their one Spirit Call Enthusiast. This in 3 life. They're managing to draw cards and everything to build their defenses back up. Sure, Melancholic Poet and Tenured Concoctor. Swing with the Pest Mascot again. They take 2 damage after blocking with another 1/2. swing with my 2 big creatures. They're down to 1. If I could just gain life from somewhere, I could end this. Like if I had just had a spell that if I just had an instant or sorcery that targeted a creature. I could have gone ahead and finished them off that turn. I can get my mouse to cooperate. Go ahead and swing with the 2 4/5s again. Use Lorehold Charm to bring Hardened Academic back. Yeah, they kind of don't have any choice but to block both of them to at least some degree. Only Wild Hypothesis targeted a creature. So down to 1. If I just had a creature targeting spell, well, an instant or sorcery that targets a creature, I could have just taken them down with the Poet. Again, they can tell at this point that they're not winning this. So it's a point for Witherbloom. Forest and pass. Swamp, Noxious Newt, and pass. We can pretty much just already call this match a point for Witherbloom because it's 2 Witherbloom decks going at it. Adventurous Eater. And we've got the Bogwater Lumerette. Which means that their mascot is going to get bigger every time they get a creature out on the field. Leech Collector, Mindful Biomancer, Answer and pass. And they've got Graphalon. You might as well just try and take that thing down before it can get too unmanageably big. Just bloodletting, get them back down to 20. They only swing with the 4 or 5 because the 2/2 is too important. Get 3/3 out. I will put the 3/3 at risk to try and kill the Loom Rat. Studious first year. And pass. I'll block these two. And Efflorescence, the Leech Collector, to try and save it. I am down to 2 now, so yeah, any spell that deals damage will just yeah, they just activate the Cauldron in essence, they loose. That's 2 for Witherbloom. Got a decent curve here. Forest pass. Swamp Newt pass. Or this is Silver Quill. That could theoretically be Lorehold. Best mascot, swing 1 and pass. Well, it's probably Silver Quill. Just going on the Orzhov theming there. Play the first year, rampant growth. Get another forest into play. And pass. Yeah, this is definitely Silver Quill. Mindful Biomancer. Old Growth Educator. It enters with 2+1/+1 counters because I gained life. And it's immediately dead. Yeah, I'll have my flyer block their flyer, so... Or Necroscribe. I even pass. Well, they're spending 2 cards on getting rid of it, at least. Just go ahead and take out the Ink Mage. Tenured Concoctor and pass. Play a Pest Mascot. Swing with the Concoctor. And then I will pass. So they've got 4/4 flyer. Brog Banemaker, I guess. Swing with the Concoctor again. Give it the royal treatment, so I at least take down both of those creatures with it. Alright, I've got 2 turns to draw into a solution for that. Or I could just open myself up to lose without even really thinking about it. That's 2 for Witherbloom, 1 for Silver Quill. And this may end up being the last game of the draft as well. I can start curving out from turn 2. Alright, looks like we're doing Witherbloom as the first school for the rest of the week. Pest Mascot. Let him pass. All I have to do is gain life, and they can just destroy everything. Which, I mean, Witherbloom does seem pretty strong. Because, I mean, that is basically just slightly larger, more expensive a Johnny's Pride Mate in green and black. I'll play an old growth educator. Later and pass. Oh, the bonus is if you've cast an instant or sorcery. Huh. I was misreading that card. Which, I mean, wouldn't have been until at least next turn that I would have gained the mana needed to actually be able to destroy all the creatures. And that would be the only way I could have stood to win that game. I've got 11 packs now. However, I'm actually not going to open them for probably until June. Because I'm going to actually try and do the thing that I've seen online. I recommended to try and like maximize how much you can get out of opening packs by basically finishing all of the drafts that you're going to do of the set before you open packs of it. Like, I even have a spreadsheet to figure out, okay, at what point will opening all of my packs just finish the rare mythic collection? It's gonna be a while. So that's it for the Magic the Gathering Arena portion for tonight. Although, I mean, it is only 107. It's like I could... I could do some Brawl. Oh cool, my internet's dipping right now. I don't know if what I'm saying right now is even broadcasting. Alright, so this portion is only gonna be in the recording, I guess. Okay, it's attempted twice to reconnect, so I guess thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight. You know, if you're watching on YouTube, because, you know, the people that actually stopped by aren't hearing this. So I guess more thank you for watching on YouTube. Or, you know, retroactively thank you for stopping by if you're like rewatching this VOD at some point. Next arena thing will be either in June or a segment, or just like a filler segment of like Brawl or something. And here's hoping that, you know, I get reconnected in the next, like, by the next 50 minutes. I'm just gonna count this as a BRB for the actual live stream. Yeah, might as well just stop the recording here since I'm no longer connected to the internet. Which also means I wouldn't even be able to do any arena anymore unless I got disconnected from just Twitch. Oh, well, I guess I'm reconnected. But in that case, I will be right back. So, but you know, just to repeat, since I should be live on Twitch now. Well, let me just grab my phone to make sure that I actually am, and I'm not just like sending a signal that is not being properly shown. Yeah, I've got confirmation that I'm live again. Saying just to repeat, if you're only sticking around for Arena specifically, thank you for stopping by. Next Arena stream will be either sort of like a filler segment or in June, because I don't usually do anything with Universes Beyond unless it's like a property that I particularly enjoy, like Avatar. The next Universes Beyond is not Universes Beyond-y on Arena, most likely, because it's Marvel. So unless the reason why they couldn't use Spider-Man on Arena and Magic Online is exclusive to Spider-Man and not the rest of Marvel, which may or may not include Spider-Man, because I mean, isn't he one of the Avengers? And the center's on the Avengers, apparently. So but I do actually have some cool stuff planned for that week. Namely one thing. Because I'm thinking, hey, it's a superhero set. I could do comic book universe for that week. And, since it's gonna be through the OM Pass, I'm just gonna draft it. Because I want a through the OM Pass set to outperform Ermit's paper equivalent. But, that's June. Because that's when the set comes out. I believe June 23rd is the day. So, just over 2 months away. And I will be right back. With the thing that I have prepared for Witherbloom. We might even... I'm gonna say that Silverquill... Yeah, Silverquill should be next because Silverquill got 1 point. Plus, I was thinking, like... Hey, go in an order of, like, one school, then a school that shares one color, and then so on. Which I guess means that it would be... that this would be Witherbloom, then Silverquill, then Lorehold, because that's the other white school, then Prismari, and then finally Quandrix. But, I will be right back as I set that up, which hey, this gives me an extra 45 minutes for any necessary troubleshooting.